YouTubers, I am back with my expedition. I'm going to do a third and final flush today. Long story short, we had some really cold weather and the heater wasn't really working that well, so I did a flush about 3 or 4 weeks ago. Worked good for about a week, then it got warm again. Then I did a flush about a week ago and it worked pretty good, and it started getting to a point when I come up to a stoplight where the engine wasn't revving up, the heater would not be as warm. So I really think I need to do one more flush, and if you watch my other 2 videos on this expedition, flushing that heater core out, you know pretty much what's going on with it. So today it's raining. It's amazing. We went from 0 degrees 24 hours ago to 62 degrees today in rain. So I figured I'd do this today while it's warm, because it's going to get cold again tonight. And I have most of my stuff set up here, my bucket, my hose, and I got a couple lines to hook up to it. I'll show you here in a second. And I got some clamps, and I got my pair of pliers. And of course these hoses on the back of this have what we call quick disconnect clips on them. You just put your hand up under there where the heater core is, where the nipples are off the heater core. You kind of release those clips, pull that hose off, and you are able to get a hose or even another connector on there. Now the Fords, for some reason, and the last car I had and worked on had a heater core problem, was a Taurus, a 2001. They all have bypass hoses. You can see the one hose goes into the heater core but splits off and goes down, and when it comes out it splits off and goes down. So a lot of times sediment just gets trapped in the heater core. The flow isn't as good versus if you just have one hose going into the heater core and one coming out, like a lot of the older cars had. You never really had that issue, but with the newer vehicles now, they have a split here, a bypass, and the coolant flow doesn't go 100% into the heater core. It kind of bypasses and goes around and all that, but you get the idea. So I had a problem with the Taurus, and of course this has got bypass hoses on it too, and that's probably part of the issue. The sediment gets trapped in that heater core, and the flow isn't as good as you normally would have in a straight heater core outlet and going back down into the engine. So we're going to go ahead and flush this out. It's pretty simple, so let me hook some things up here. And if you watched my other video on the heater core, you know exactly where I bought my parts at and how much they cost. And it's like about $13.08. And I think I'll probably be okay. It's been raining on and off today, and I'll try to do this in between rain showers. So I'll go ahead and get things done here, and let's get to it. See if we can make this heater hot and ready for one last time. And if you're having trouble with your expedition, Explorer or Mountaineer, maybe this will help you out. So I don't think I need a heater core. I just think it needs to be flushed out one more time as the rain continues to fall. It's a warm rain, I might add. Almost feels like a spring day out here in December. Loving it for now. Alright, kind of watching radar. Looks like I'm okay. Looks like most of the rain's passed for now, but you never know when the heavens might open up. Keep this in nearby just in case. Need to check on the weather. Now here's my setup. I got a couple 5/8 hoses. I bought these at the big hardware store that everybody knows. Starts with an L. Got some cheap clips on there. I got these little springy types. You could probably use something like, if you don't have those type of clips around, you could probably use something like, oh gosh, like this. If I keep dropping things, it's not going to go well, is it? Something like this, and if you can get a little socket on it, you know, one of those little 1/4-inch drives, you might be able to tighten it up, but there's not a lot of room under there to get your hands, so this is why I chose to use these guys here. And they're just snug enough to keep that plastic hose, that line on there. And this is about a 12-foot line. I cut it in half so I'd have enough to come out and into my bucket, which is sitting somewhere right here behind me, which I'll be using. And what I'll do is we'll do a reverse flush flow. And now if I can find my hose, there we go. And this is my setup. I got just a basic connector on a garden hose there, and I got a 5/8 garden hose, sort of a, I guess you'd call it, I'm not sure what they even call it now. Having one of those days. But this slides right over that, like that nipple, and that's how I'm going to control my water flow. Now, I've already went ahead and disconnected my hoses here, and these are 5/8, and they have little disconnect clips underneath there that you can get your hands on, and you squeeze it, and you squeeze the side right there, and it releases those. And you got to watch, because when you take those hoses off, as I said in my previous 2 videos, you got these O-rings. You got to put them back on. If you don't, you're going to end up with a leak. And I take these off because when you take the hoses off, sometimes they stay in the hoses. Sometimes they stay on the heater core nipple. But with these off, you can actually get this hose on there a lot farther and more secure. And when you turn the water pressure on, they won't blow off. That's the reason you want to put a clamp on there. So now I'm going to go ahead and stick these on. And we'll go ahead and run one hose in the bucket there. And we'll start flushing this heater core out for a final time. And see if we get any Christmas presents. Although it's almost Christmas, not quite. I got my hoses hooked up and everything. I just kind of pushed them on there. And these particular hoses, when it's this warm out, they flex a lot more. So that's why I got the clamps on them. Now I will say, if you can find a couple of these disconnect ends, sometimes you can get them at the parts store. If you can find a couple of these, you could just get a clamp and clamp it on one of these. Get you 2 of these and just pop those hoses on the heater core and pop them off and pop these back on. I was going to buy some of these, but I couldn't find them anywhere. But I know they sell them on eBay, so I may buy some. But these are 5/8, and you can just bolt that in onto your tubes, and you're good. So what we're going to do here, we got everything ready to go. Got my bucket set up here. Set the camera on the tripod, and we'll go ahead and start flushing away here. You're not going to be able to see 100%, but you'll get the idea. Now I got my hose here ready to go. Go ahead and hook this up. And the idea with this is you can just slide this on like this, and it works pretty good. Okay, here we go. We're going to start flushing. Straighten the hose out a little bit, and just so you know, there's nothing in the bucket. It's nice and clean. Make sure your bucket's nice and clean. And now we'll start flushing. See what we get. Yep, lots of crap still in there. Alright, we'll do the other side. And we'll do this a couple times, back and forth, until we get everything clean, like it's supposed to be. Alright, we'll do the reverse side. This makes it nice just to be able to slide that hose on and off. Poor man's version. There we go. Right, we're flushing away. I think you can maybe see that there. Oops. And do it one more time the other way. Send my fresh water back out. Put the water in. Yeah, there's still a little bit in there. Well, at least I know the heater core will be unplugged this time. One more time. I know this is exciting. Some of you guys are saying, oh, this is not exciting. But if you have a heater core problem, this will help you maybe. Yeah, we're still getting a little bit of stuff in there. We'll look at it here in a second. And we'll do it one more time. Alright. That side flows really good. That's what we want. And one more time on this side. Yeah, I saw some stuff that time come out. Alright, we'll set the bucket down. We'll drain some of the water out of it and we'll look at it. Alright, how about that? Look at that. Still got stuff in that heater core. Like I said, it's really tough to get that stuff out of the tire system. This is why you gotta kind of do the heater core a couple times. So I'm glad I did the third flush. This will probably take care of it. I want to flush a few more times and see if we get anything else out, I should say, but not sure what that is. Almost looks like paint chips, but who knows. So go ahead and flush a few more times here and see what kind of goodies we get out, and if we don't get anything else, and I'm pretty sure this will be the final flush and it should take care of it. So we'll see here in a second. Okay, that was about a 10-minute flush there, back and forth, and would you believe we still got stuff out of there, but not as much. Looks like we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. But if you have to do this 3 times and your hoses are easy to get to, it's well worth it. Just about get the water out of it here. All right. And you can still see a little bit there. Not like it was earlier, but I'm pretty happy with it. So I'm just going to go ahead and let the water run through the heater core one more time and button her up and see what we get. But it's what you got to do. And like I said, this is not a professional flush kit. You can go out and buy these at the local parts store, the regular flush kits, but there's a chance it won't work for your car anyway, because the hoses and the connectors on all cars and trucks, SUVs, are all different hookups. Some are just bolted with a clamp, and some's got the quick disconnect. So you really got to see what you have before you start going out and buy stuff. But that's my setup, and that's my story. So I am going to go ahead and tinker around here another 5 minutes and put it together, and we'll start it up, and I'll let you know how the heat situation is. So it looks like it should be okay. It sure is a nice warm day out here. I know it looks gloomy, but man, is it warm. Unusual for this time of the year. But it's not going to last. It's going to be cold tonight. It's going to turn cold again. I live west of the Appalachian Mountains up here, and sometimes we can have 60-degree weather. North, South Carolina, and Georgia, they'll have an ice storm. That warm air gets pushed up into the west of the mountains, and we really benefit from it up here a lot of times. Okay, so I'll go ahead and put it back. We'll go ahead and go ahead and flush it a few more times, and then I'll put it back together. We'll start it up and see how the heat situation is. Hopefully, this will take care of me for the rest of the year, because it's only December, and I'll get several months of winter now to go through, and I won't have to worry about this no more. All right, one final time after going back and forth about 20 minutes or so, I got a little more out of there. It's amazing how much a heater core can hold. And once I get the water drained out, still see got a little bit there, but I'm pretty happy now. I think we'll be okay. There's not much there. That was about a 10-minute flush. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and put it back together. And like I said, you just got to flush your heart out. Just flush away until you're happy. And I'm sure you're going to notice a big difference. So I'm going to go ahead and stick it together now, and we'll start it up. Just take a few minutes. Make sure you get your seals in the right place. And I think I've said this 3 times already. But you know what? I'll do it again. The seals go in like that. The rubber, the hard seal, the rubber. Same thing on the opposite side. Rubber, hard, and rubber. Those got to go on. I usually stick them on the back of the heater core down there. And I don't think you're going to be able to see the hoses, but they are up in there. If I hold the camera right, you might be able to. Just enough room to get your hands in there. I like how my hoses are sweating because the water's so cold and the outside is so warm. It's like ice water. Weird. All right, we'll stick it back together and see what kind of heat we have now. All right, folks. Boy, what a difference. That heat now is super hot. That's the hottest I've ever felt, that heat. And when I come up to a stoplight now, it's really hot. It doesn't get warm. So that really did the trick, that third flush. And I am really happy with it. So if you need to do that, maybe even up to 3 times, it might be worth it. And you can see my temperature gauge is right in the middle where it should be. And that is hot. I need to get a digital thermometer, but trust me, it worked. That really helped out. All right, now I'm back in my little backyard, and I've let this thing set for 5 minutes. It's just idling, and that heat is hot. I have no issues whatsoever. Now, with it going warm, like I would come up to a stop sign, it would get warm, and you go down the highway. At highway speeds, it would get really hot. Don't have that issue no more. It's staying steady, which is really great. And my temperature gauge is right up where it should be, so I am very happy. And also, I'm going to replace, I've got to do another video. I have a P420 coat on, and we all know what the P420 coat is. I'm going to show you how to fix that later on this expedition. Let me go outside and we'll wrap this video up. I'll shut this off. Actually, you know what I'll do is go out here for a minute and let you listen to the engine real quick. This is probably one of the best Triton V8s I've ever owned. Listen how nice that thing sounds. It's only got 131,000. But make sure you check your antifreeze, and after you drive it, make sure you don't have any leaks up under your hoses there where it connects to your heater core. That way you know your seals are in place. And one other quick thing is you don't have to use these clear lines. I like to use them just to watch the water come and go. You can use just regular heater core tubing, depending on what size your heater core is and your nipple is. And here's the only little bit of crap I could get out. Not much in there at all. As I finally did the last flush, and looks pretty good. And I'm pretty happy with it. So this will wrap the video up. Hopefully this will help you guys out. Any questions, I will try to comment and answer them and all that good stuff. So stay warm, everybody. We all know what's coming. Until next time, later.